Good morning, and welcome to our continuing series on homeopathy with our beloved Dr. Pachegaonkar. You had mentioned a symptom of bedwetting, especially in children, young children. Perhaps we could cover that?
See, bedwetting is very common. Generally, if it persists beyond 3 years, and that too as a regular feature, we consider it worth treating. Otherwise, it can be a casually physiological.
Ah,
What happens in normal course, the child, if he urinates before going to bed and say 8, 9, 10 hours sleep, the bladder can be filled. So on waking up, the child can get up and pass urine. So this should be the normal course. But in children, what happens? They pass urine during sleep in bed without even being aware of it. Sometimes child passes urine even 2 to 3 times in sleep, during sleep. And that becomes really a management issue for the parents, and it's quite embarrassing. And we get sometimes children even up to the age of 12 years when they get bedwetting. There are 3 to 4 varieties of genesis of bedwetting. I won't say bedwetting is just same, but the genesis can be different. The first case instance would be where when the bladder is filled and the child needs to get urge for urination, and that urge or the pressure or the tenesmus is not enough to awaken the child, so that child gets up and goes to the urinal for passing urine. So the child gets deep sleep, too deep sleep, so that the stimulation for passing urine is not adequate, and therefore child passes urine, because it becomes a reflex action. When bladder is too much filled, it no more works as a voluntary this thing. Involuntarily it gives away and the child urinates. There are some instances where the child gets urging for urination in a subconscious stage and gets a dream that child looks for a toilet and finds it out in dream and starts urinating, later to realize that child has passed urine in the bed. That also we have a variety. And we don't expect 3 years old child to have a deep sleep and then gently wake up and go to urinal and pass. The ideal would be that, see, the bladder has capacity of about 350 to 400 ml.
even in a small child.
300 is not a big volume. In elderly, it would be like 500 to 600. In child, definitely 300 to 450 ml also urine can be stored in bladder. So in one night, if one bladder full is there, so once the child empties completely before going to bed, there should be, after 8 hours, bladder should be full. Because how much urine is needed to be passed? The problem is when child eats dinner and then drinks ample of water with it, that needs at least 2 hours for emptying. 2 hours needed. And child just can't wait till the stomach is empty. So child will go to bed. And once child goes to bed, then the body will get fluid disseminated, and then the urine formation, and then the bladder will be filled more. And therefore also a child passes urine in bed. So what we advise as a remedy is that give dinner at least 2 hours earlier to the bedtime. And earlier to that, on empty stomach, give ample of fluid, very adequate hydration of the body has to be achieved, so that whatever flushing of kidneys is to be done, it will be done before child goes to bed. So there will be 1 or 2 times more frequent urine before going to bed, but then it will definitely will not allow bed waiting,
So
because
the secret is in timing.
yes, yes. So, and another thing, some parents, they cultivate that 11:30, 12 o'clock in the mid of sleep, they just wake the child, make them child go to bathroom, and in that case we are actually cultivating that reflex for the body to have urination somewhere around midnight, which is not the remedy. The best remedy is give ample of fluid to the child by evening, earlier in the evening, give early dinner, and ask the child to pass urine before going to bed. This is the best policy. At the same time, we have homeopathic remedies which are really helpful. Like we have sepia, that jellyfish ink remedy. Then we have natrium muriaticum, salt. We have Sina, where the child is infested with the worms associated with this bedwetting. We have causticum, a potassium remedy. So we have all these remedies which again form of based on totality we give, and the bladder movement is regularized. So bedwetting can be easily managed properly in children, and the training should not take more than a month.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes.